Hello everybody, welcome to this Facebook Live during National Apprenticeship Week. My name's Chloe Warner and I'm the Apprenticeship Leader for Saint-Gobain UK and Ireland. This week we've been celebrating apprentices all around our business and I'm joined by some very special people today to talk more to you about apprenticeships, the benefits they bring and also answer any questions that you may have surrounding apprenticeships. So thank you for joining. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Natalie Whelan.
Yeah, so hello, I'm Natalie. I work as a brand digital community executive for Saint-Gobain in the external communications team. I look after Saint-Gobain social media, so I'm normally on the other side of the camera right now. But I'm also doing a digital marketing apprenticeship.
Great, thank you Natalie. And two of our partners from training provider Fuel, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Karen Priestley and I'm the Delivery Director at Fuel Learning.
And I'm Sarah Carey, I'm the Account Director at Fuel Learning, and yes, we work in partnership to deliver leadership and management apprenticeships with Saint-Gobain.
Yay!
Yay!
So thank you everybody for joining us today. Natalie, I'm going to come to you first.
Yeah.
So you're doing a digital marketing apprenticeship.
Yeah.
What is digital marketing?
So digital marketing is marketing via digital platforms.
Okay.
So marketing is when you're selling a product or service, or you're trying to promote your brand, and then digital marketing is just doing that through things like a website or email marketing or social media.
Okay. So obviously it's very prominent in today's world of digitalisation.
Yes, so marketing has completely evolved. It's a lot more prominent digitally now on digital platforms.
Okay. So how are you finding the programme?
Great. So I started the digital marketing apprenticeship last year. I'm due to complete it this year. Really enjoying it. So it's very relevant to my job role. So on the apprenticeship I learned things like SEO, coding. I've actually got a Google Analytics qualification.
Wow.
As a result.
Fantastic.
I know. I know, and I learned all things social media as well on it. So it means that I can go into the classroom at the academy, have a lesson, get taught things, and then immediately come back and apply it to my job role.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And Google Analytics, it's completely over my head.
I know. So I had no idea what it was before I started this role or the apprenticeship. But Google Analytics is basically, so companies run ads on Google.
Okay.
You can promote those ads so they're higher up the search page and they're basically promoting your website. So Google Analytics is the platform, like the back end platform, where you do all of that.
It's the future.
I know, very complex, but I've learnt loads, and we obviously have a website, so we can use that.
So you've achieved that already in your apprenticeship?
Yes,
Yeah.
so that's like a standalone qualification that I can get, that I've managed to get part way through.
Fantastic.
So yeah,
Well done.
really good.
Yeah, really well done.
So you've done some training programmes before. You've got a degree, haven't you?
Yes.
What's your degree in?
Yeah, so I've got a degree in biology from Lancaster University.
Wow, different.
I know, so I graduated in that a couple of years ago. Done a lot of different functions. So I did like retail, I've done learning and development, and now I'm into digital marketing.
Fantastic. So how do you think the apprenticeship compares to previous learning that you've done?
So obviously in my degree it was a lot of like lectures, very classroom led. You learned by PowerPoint, you weren't really applying your learning. So like with my degree I would have had to wait until I graduated and went into employment to start applying anything that I'd learned. But with the apprenticeship, the classroom lessons are all spread out throughout so it's a 13-month apprenticeship, so it's spread out throughout that whole period. And everything that I learn in increments, I can just come back and apply. So it's very gradual learning.
Great.
But it means that you really learn it because you're doing it in your job role.
And is it all sort of classroom based, or are there online elements? Are there other things that you're doing?
Yeah, so there's a bit of online learning that you do with it.
Great.
So in total I probably have about like 15 days in the classroom over the 13 months. And then I'm also creating a portfolio.
Okay.
So I present that at the end, my portfolio, and it's basically a file of evidence.
Right.
So I'm evidencing things that I have learnt. So I might have done like a social media campaign. So we did a really successful social media campaign just before Christmas, and I've documented everything that I learned in that and put it all into my portfolio.
Okay,
Yeah,
wicked.
so it's really good.
It sounds really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
So I'll finish my apprenticeship this year.
Yeah.
I'll have my endpoint assessment. Just need to finish my portfolio. Hopefully progress within Saint-Gobain. I love Saint-Gobain, love working here. So we'd love to stay here and explore other apprenticeships. What else there is to offer? Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
Sounds it makes me want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good. It's good that you're having such a good experience.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been great.
So coming over to you, Sarah.
Yes.
We obviously know that apprenticeships have changed in the last
Mhm.
few years. I just wondered if you could go into a bit more detail about those changes and the sort of benefits apprenticeships have now for individuals, but also the organisation itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think things changed a lot with the advent of the apprenticeship levy, which was
Yes.
in 2017, and very basically that's employers with a certain level wage bill have a percentage of that they pay into a pot, and that can be spent on apprenticeships, learning and development for their people. One of the biggest changes, I think, is the way that apprenticeships are viewed. So it's apprenticeships are there for school leavers and people with little experience, but it's also there for people at all stages in their careers. So it doesn't matter what age you are. A lot of restrictions as to who can do apprenticeships have been lifted with the levy. Around about that same time though, employers got together and felt that apprenticeships as they were, so frameworks as they were known, were not necessarily fit for purpose in all cases. And they felt that there were situations where they could be seen as a bit of a tick box or evidencing existing skills. So that's where new standards came in, and the new standards have been created in line with employers. So they've been involved in what's called a trailblazer group to put together what they want to see in employees. And basically that comes down to a bit of what you've said, Natalie. It's not just about the knowledge, it's about the skills and the behaviours that go alongside that, depending on the qualifications and things that you're doing. So from that point of view, they're very interactive.
Yes.
It's about being able to learn and apply, as I think you've put across really, really well, in stages. It's about your company supporting you to do that, the employer supporting, and it's about you as an individual being able to evidence what it is that you've done. So a return on the investment that your company's making for you, and they are making a big investment, and it's great. So people can develop all the way through. We specialise in leadership and management. So what that means is that it's opened up to companies that are specialists as opposed to sort of generalists. So you can do an apprenticeship through a company as long as they're registered that specialise in whatever the area is that you want to develop in. So
and there's real benefits to that, isn't it? Working with training providers that do specialise in those subject areas.
Yeah, I think so. I think the more you go through, then the more that becomes appropriate. So there are areas that you can be general in, but really that's what employers want. Employers are paying, and they want what they want from it, and so it's actually been a really positive thing. I think the levy, and I hope employers see it the same way.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I mean, the levy pot that we're able to draw down from, that's only available for employees that spend 50% more of their working time in England.
Yes.
But there are other options for colleagues within Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. There are separate funding streams.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of devolved to those areas.
Yeah.
So if a company works across all of the areas, then they pay into the pot, and then the percentage of their people that work in those countries, the money goes back to that country, if you like, in a really basic way, and then it can still be spent on apprenticeships, possibly in a different way. But absolutely. So everyone's paying in. The company's paying in for all of their people. The way in which it's delivered might be slightly different, but
So we're as a company, we're exploring ways in which we can access funding within those nations to help colleagues get onto approved apprenticeship training.
That's right. Yeah, which is excellent.
Yeah.
It's the way forward.
And just picking up on another point that you mentioned there, Sarah, about employers have designed these new standards. I think there's a lot to be said about that, isn't there? They've been designed by industry experts. They are meeting the needs of those businesses.
Yeah, and it literally was, to be basic, groups of company representatives that got together and said, this is what we want to see in certain areas. So in 2020, there will be standards for all. They've sort of been phased in relation to, obviously, frameworks as they were known before, but the new standards are the way that employers want to go, and actually that makes perfect sense. So it's exciting times, and it's been moulded on what employers want.
Fab.
Great.
Everyone's a winner.
Now, Karen, I'm coming to you. I get asked time and time again by line managers, by people around the business, what is this 20% off the job? And I wondered today, let's get it all out on the table, and let's really discuss what this 20% element of the apprenticeship is.
So the 20% off the job is a way of supporting the individual to develop the knowledge and the skills and the behaviour that are required in line with the apprenticeship that they're on. So some of that might be classroom based, so you talked about your Google Analytics. So you will have gone on a course, you'll have learned the knowledge of how to do that, but you learn the skill by coming back into the workplace and applying it. So whilst you're doing your first campaign that maybe aligned to Google Analytics, you will have learned a lot of the skills and developed your skills back in the workplace. All of that activity classes towards 20% off the job. So it's about really supporting that individual to go away, learn, and actually really develop on the job. So doing work-based activities where you're developing those skills in line with the apprenticeship that you're on. So we see that as a real benefit. It's a really positive thing, both for the individual and the company, because you're really getting people that can actually develop the skills and become better in their job, and therefore deliver that return on investment for the business as well. We've all probably been on training courses before where we've said, we're absolutely really keen, we're going to go back and do things, and then work or life takes over and it doesn't happen, whereas this actually supports you to make sure that you're really embedding that knowledge, those skills and those behaviours back in the workplace, which will help you develop your portfolio ready for your endpoint assessment.
And it's important to sort of note with the 20% that it's not prescriptive. So it isn't a day a week. Sometimes it can be seen as that, but it isn't, and it works very much with the business. So the peaks and the troughs and the busy periods and everything else. So you'll find that most things that you're doing when you're introducing something new, that's all off the job, even though it's on the job. And then there might be other periods when not so much. So it's over the whole period of the apprenticeship. It's not prescriptive. It's around you, your job role, and the employer.
Of course. And there's something important about that. Picking up on the point of, we've all gone off to training courses and then say we're going to commit to certain things and then maybe we don't. That 20% element almost, it kind of makes you make that commitment, doesn't it?
It does, it definitely encourages you to go away and actually do something with that, that knowledge. So it's really, really beneficial.
And it's not something to be scared of.
No, absolutely not. You'll find that you'll end up probably spending more than 20%, and you'll probably be able to evidence kind of quite a lot more than that 20%. So it's definitely not something to be scared of. And it shouldn't put employees off either. It is really about developing those skills of your workforce, which will make you more effective as well.
Brilliant.
It's been great. I haven't struggled at all with the 20%. So I think you're just eager once you've done a classroom session to come back and explore how you can implement that for your business. So like I did a bit on SEO the other day, which is search engine optimization. So it's how you get your website to like the first page of Google when people make a search. So it was really, so I came straight back and was like, how is Saint-Gobain doing in terms of that? So it's really good to implement.
And I think from a leadership and management point of view, it helps the line manager because the more proficient your person, the line manager's person is, the more the line manager can release some work, however that may look, and that's obviously helping them as well. So done in the right way, it's a really, it's actually a really positive experience.
And it helps you build networks across the business as well. So you might be that you have a mentor that supports you in your program that helps you develop some of those knowledge, the skills, the behaviours, and all of that mentoring there will class as the 20% off the job. But you're also then developing really strong relationships across the business, sharing best practice, sharing ideas, which again is only going to be a positive thing.
We've had people working first line management, for example. We've had people working on different projects, working with different teams that wouldn't necessarily have worked with in the past. Learning about the business, learning about getting out into the brands, understanding more about Saint-Gobain.
So job shadowing is part of the 20%. So yeah, I've done some job shadowing before where you go, so I've joined another team for a day, learn all about what they do. So it's really good for getting out into the business.
Yeah.
Fab.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of brings, I suppose that kind of brings our discussion to an end.
Yeah.
Don't know if we've got any, have we had any questions?
We've got a ton of questions.
Oh, wow.
This is really good,
Perfect.
yeah. So one of the first ones will be to Natalie.
Yeah.
So this is from Sophie. How are you finding balancing your apprenticeship with your day job?
So I was worried about that at the start, just because the 20% off the job did seem daunting at first, I think just because of your preconceptions, but it's actually been really, really easy. So I rarely take a day out of the business for the apprenticeship, so my apprenticeship lasts 13 months. I think I have around 15 classroom days spread across that whole 13 months. So those 15 days are out of the office, but the rest of my apprenticeship I'm in the office, I'm doing my normal job, but because it's all new to me, I'm learning as I go anyway, and I can document everything that I'm doing and put it towards my portfolio, and portfolio work counts as 20% off the job. So everything that I do, I log, and it's really, really easy to rack up the hours to get the 20%.
Brilliant.
Cool. And we've got another one here from Daniel who said that do we think the levy is going to help with the construction industry's image skill shortage?
Wow, yes, definitely. I think that one of the reasons that the apprenticeship levy was reformed to address the skills gap within the UK, and particularly for a business like ourselves, addressing the skills gap within the construction industry is key for us. So I think 100%. I think the way in which the new standards are being developed, they're tailored to different types of learning styles. They're making it more accessible for people, making it more diverse, and hopefully, in the future, encourage different people to apply for jobs within the construction industry.
Yeah, I mean there are literally hundreds and hundreds of different apprenticeships that people can do, and I think one of the things that's really attractive to people is that they're coming into a business, if they're new or existing, to learn new skills, and they're getting all the development they need and all the development they want. It's not costing them anything, and they're getting the total support of their company. So it really is a good proposition. So definitely, I would say.
He's also asked another question, which is about apprenticeships having an image problem. And he said, do we think the work needs to be done to better showcase all the good things about apprenticeships?
I can't disagree, but I think that's a time thing, and I think that actually, it was much harder. We've seen a massive shift, haven't we? Just since April 2017, when it sort of started. There's been a massive education piece. I think employers are much more open and understanding of, an apprentice isn't necessarily just someone who's brand new straight from school, although that's great too. It's about development generally. So I think it's happening. I think it's a slow process because it's a bit of a change, but definitely happening,
I mean, internally, we're certainly seeing a big shift in the way people are viewing apprenticeships. Just this week alone, we've been communicating internally to our colleagues, and the amount of queries that we've had in, the amount of people that are, they're kind of saying, I'm at this point in my career and I want to do something different. Can apprenticeships give me that opportunity to do so? And yes, really, there is the flexibility to do that.
Yeah, it's about diversity, I think, and your programs, show that.
Yeah.
It's people from different backgrounds and different jobs. It's it's positive.
So we've got one from Michelle, who's asking a specific one to Natalie about how did you get your Google Analytics qualification?
Okay, so it's actually run by Google themselves. So I think as long as you have a Google account, you can go and do it. It's called Google Analytics for Beginners, and it's kind of like e-learning. So you do a series of e-learning modules, and then it's an online multiple choice exam at the end, which you can do in your own time. You can take as long as you want to do the e-learning. So yeah, it's really good.
Cool. And we've got another one here from Yayan, who said, great job everyone. Like, enjoying it. Saying, Chloe, what advice would you give to someone thinking about doing an apprenticeship at Saint-Gobain?
So what I would say is if you're external to Saint-Gobain and you're looking to perhaps inquire about apprenticeships here, we're predominantly offering apprenticeships out to existing employees. So we would always say go onto our careers website, have a look at the opportunities on there. We add on any kind of apprenticeship opportunities, any jobs on there that could be supported by an apprenticeship. Go through that. And if you're an existing colleague with us, we've sent out a lot of communication this week. Have a look at the brochures available. Have a look at the intranet pages available, and really just speak with your line manager and your local HR team to sort of register your interest.
Cool. And another question for you, Natalie.
Popular today.
Yes, she's very popular. What advice would you give to someone who's about to start an apprenticeship within the group?
So I guess I was quite worried at first about how I was going to juggle the 20% off the job with my normal job role, but my experience is that you just don't have to be worried about that at all. So it's quite easy to just achieve your 20% off the job as you're doing it. So just enjoy it is what I would. I've loved learning something new. So in like the 3 years since I graduated from uni, I've really missed like continuously learning. So being able to do an apprenticeship and learn as I go has been really great. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it.
So we've got another one here. How easy is it to get on the scheme, and is there a timescale to get level 7 programs going? So I suppose that's more to do with maybe the leadership and management program that you guys deliver. Like, how long does that take someone to complete?
For all apprenticeship standards, regardless of the level, there's a minimum duration. And then how it works from there really is dependent on the individual, the company, and how it can be delivered. Okay, so that's something that it's really hard to give a prescriptive answer to. Generally, a level 3 qualification, you're probably looking at about 13, 14 months. Ours is 14, yours is 13, so yeah. We deliver a level 5 management over 18 months, sometimes 2 years, depending on employer requirements. So it's a little bit difficult to say specifically. Higher level leadership and management generally at the moment are over about 3 years because there's a lot of evidence saying that needs to go on. So yeah.
A lot of the time at that level, they're kind of degree levels as well.
Yeah, they are, and it's a little bit limited sometimes with who can actually deliver.
Yeah.
So then you enter into, in some cases, release, and you've got to sort of partner up with a university. So there's quite a few changes going on in that sort of area. But those are rough timescales. Sorry, I can't be more precise.
That's okay. Just one last one is, where should people go if they're more interested in about finding out more?
Yeah, so we've, as I've said, we've issued quite a lot of communication out this week. Revisit that. There's some great links in there to our internal intranet pages. We've just released a new apprenticeship brochure this week, so you can have a look on there. We are going to be continuously communicating to all of our colleagues in Saint-Gobain. During 2019, you're going to be hearing more from people like Natalie, talking about their experiences. Speak with your line manager, speak with your HR team, and of course, if you are external and you're potentially looking for a career with Saint-Gobain, visit the Saint-Gobain careers page, and I'm sure we can share the link to that after this vid.
Yep. I think that's probably all we've got time for now.
Fantastic. Well, thank you to you guys, and thank you to everybody for submitting all your questions. I hope you found that useful. And we if we've missed any questions, we can try and pick them up afterwards. All right. Thanks, everyone.